Hi, this is Scott from Action Games and Comics, and I'm here with our super special guest, Sergio Cariello, artist of Captain America Hail Hydra. And he's doing a signing here today on January 5th, and we're going to do a small interview in what will be many of, in one of many interviews.
You know.
That's awesome.
What's his name?
Jude.
Jude. Hey, Jude.
Jude.
Yeah.
You like it?
Love it.
All right. Hey, Jude.
So today we're here with Sergio Cariello, and I have a few questions about the industry, and yeah. The first question is, well, what can you tell us about Captain America Hail Hydra? About the new book.
Well, I really enjoyed working from Jonathan Mayberry's scripts. It's an action-packed story. You can't go wrong when you have Nazis, superheroes like Captain America, and zombies in one story. So it was fun to also throw in the pretty girl in there. So I enjoyed doing the book. Returning to Marvel after a few years, I really enjoyed, and I recommend it. Go buy your copy.
And are you a fan of the zombie genre of movies and things like that also?
I'm a fan of drawing everything that I can. I really enjoy drawing all kinds of stuff: monsters, zombie, cute, ugly, short, tall, fat, skinny.
And who was your favorite superhero growing up?
I'd say from Marvel, Spider-Man. From DC, Batman. The usual suspects.
And how about now? Same or any changes?
I really enjoyed drawing Captain America. I enjoyed drawing Thor. I drew Thor for a short story that I don't even know where it's going to be published, but it's a short story of 4 pages of absorbing men.
Cool.
A villain who fought Thor
Yep.
in Amazing Fantasy 115, 114, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
One of his top villains at
Right.
one time.
Yeah.
Yep. How did you get into the business?
Well, when I was 5 years old, I already knew I wanted to do cartoons when I grew up. I told my parents that's what I intended to do when I grew up. So I always dreamed of drawing comics, doing this kind of thing. And I constantly drew on every surface that I could find in my house. Not very cool for walls, but when I was 11, I had my first comic strip published in Brazil in a local newspaper. When I was 14, I was doing caricatures for the same newspaper of political figures, national and international, and I was getting paid for it too. When I was 18, I found out about the Joe Cuba School of Cartoons and Graphic Arts in Dover, New Jersey, and it was an ad that I saw in Batman, drawn by Gene Colan. It was an ugly bird asking caveman, "Have you heard about it?" The Joe Cuba School. When I read that ad, I knew I wanted to go to attend that school. So I started saving money and went to a private English course as a second language, because my first language is Portuguese from Brazil, where I was born. And I paid my schooling through drawings, so I couldn't afford to pay them. But I was learning the British English, not the tall, how do you do, and all of that. And in 1986, 1985, I came to America, and I went to upstate New York to study the Bible there in a Word of Life Ministries. While I was there, I knew I wanted to go to the Cuba School, but that was the door that got open for me to come to America to study the Bible. And then I applied for the Cuban school, was interviewed by Joe Cupid over the phone. I was so thrilled to talk to the man. And I got accepted. I had no idea how I would be paying for it, but I got accepted over the phone. I mean, with the sending the application and everything. And then I worked as a janitor in New York in a Manhattan Bible Church, and they paid me to go. They paid me by paying the school. So I went to the Cuba school. I had to leave for a while for some personal reasons, and went back in the '90s. And then I overheard that Marvel. I was in the second year, and I also got a scholarship from first year to second year by Dark Horse. In the second year, I overheard Marvel was offering a bullpen production ghost lettering position to any third-year student from the Cuba school. And I heard that no one in the third year was interested in taking that job. I took my high-asthma lettering assignment to Marvel offices the next day when I had a chance, and I got hired on the spot in the second year. And I was already working on Dagon for Caliber Press, because my brother was working with this writer and Caliber, and he was too busy, and he said, I have a brother who lives in America, and they contacted me, and I got the job even as I was a student at the Cuba school. I even had three students work for me, and a teacher work for me, and I was exempt for a lot of assignments because I was already drawing a comic book outside the school. And while I was in the bullpen at Marvel, I was still working on Dagon for Caliber. The editor saw that I could draw. They gave me more work beyond my lettering. And I got so busy I had to quit the bullpen, and then went to work for DC as well, and then work for various publishers like IDW, DC Comics, Image, even Todd McFarlane. I did one pin-up for him. But later on, I went back to teach at the Cuba school for 7 consecutive years, and many of today's professionals came from those years. Hard for me to remember all the names. They sure remember me, but that's how I broke into business, and I never stopped working, even as a teacher. Then when I stopped teaching was in 2003 when CrossGen invited me to come to Florida to work for in-house, and they went under, but I was busy freelancing and still am.
Right. Yeah, and Sergio has brought his other works today. He brought the Action Bible and the Picture Bible, and I'll let him tell us about it.
Yes, this when I was in Brazil, I remember reading the Picture Bible, the original version, drawn by LeBlanc, and I loved it. And I grew up going to church. I knew the Bible and about God, Jesus, and the Gospel, and the Moses, and David and Goliath, Samson, and all those true heroes from historical accounts. And I never dreamed that one day I would be drawing it. The way I got into it was, while I was teaching at the Hydra school, there was one fellow teacher, Alex Stevens, who had a publication called Glory to God, and he asked us to draw a page for him, and I drew Jesus carrying the cross, our cross, and I used that illustration again in another publication called Proverbs and Parables by Ralph Malley and another Christian group, and then Nate Butler contacted me to do contest for Latin American artists for a Christian publication, and I utilized the cross that I drew for Alex Stevens into that contest, and the other pages from Proverbs and Parables, and I won the contest. So those pages got they were into a third publication the winners of the first place of the contest, and that they compiled all those illustrations into one book. And David C. Cook Publishers they were looking for an artist to revamp the picture Bible done in the 70s, and they had somehow that publication that with all those contestants and my stories included, and they flipped through it. When they spotted that Jesus carried the cross, they said, I think we found our artist. So they called me, they asked me if I was interested, and I was so thrilled to get the invitation, because I could combine my knowledge of the Bible, my passion for the Gospels, Jesus and God, and all the good principles that I find in it, with my comic book skills, and put them into the Action Bible, which is a revamped version of the old one, adding everything that I learned in superhero comics into an actual religious comic, with 750 pages that I did in 3 years while I was doing the Lone Ranger, and also doing Son of Samson for Son of Ed. That's 150 pages black and white in a more cartoony style that I did with writer Gary Martin. And this was also published simultaneously with those. So I really enjoy drawing not only Batman and Captain America, but I enjoy drawing Samson.
So yeah, I'm Scott from Action Games and Comics, and this is Sergio Cariello, artist of Captain America, Hydra, and many other books as you've seen. And we're signing off. This is Action Games and Comics. We're at 305D North Highway 27, Mineola, Florida, 34715. Our phone number is 352-242-9755, and you can reach us on the web at www.actiongamesandcomics.com. Thanks, Sergio.
My pleasure, Scott.
Thank you.
Very good.